This is Tackle Talk Live, an inside scoop on how, when, and where to catch bass, with a primary focus on Toledo Bend and Sam Rayburn. Interviews with anglers who are consistent winners on the tournament trail. Your hosts, Camus Boats Pro Staffer Steve Graff and Gill Fishing Accounts Manager Kevin Jean. Two anglers who understand bass fishing with tournament success on all levels. Anglers willing to share their knowledge to help you become a better fisherman. So sit up and pay close attention as they give detailed tournament information and results. Here are the hosts of Tackle Talk Live, Steve Graff and Kevin Jean.
This is Tackle Talk Live. I'm Diver Pro Staffer Steve Graff, along with Gill Fishing Accounts Manager Kevin Jean. First of all, we want to thank Drew Davis and Seagar Fishing Line for their new sponsorship of our program. Kevin and I have both been Seagar fans, and no better fishing line you want to throw. Every kind of line size you could ever want or need, they've got it at Seagar. Ask your local tackle dealer if they carry the best fishing line, Seagar. And so today, Kevin, we're going to cover the upcoming championships. You got the Skeeter Outlaw Outdoors Championship taking place on Sam Rayburn, and then the next week we've got the Triple T, the Texas Team Trail Championship, coming up on Toledo Bend. Your thoughts on both of those?
And we'll dive into this on the next segment, but big weekend. Two back-to-back big weekends coming up. Outlaw Team Series Championship, Sam Rayburn, Texas Team Trail Championship on Toledo Bend. Some big money up for grabs. Both fisheries are fishing really well. Took 23 pounds this past weekend to win on Sam Rayburn in like a 50-boat tournament. Had 5 sacks over 20 pounds. And then Toledo Bend is fishing, coming off to see the Big Bass Splash, is fishing really well. It's going to take some big weights. It's going to take at least 50 pounds to win that event, in my opinion. So, Steve, we got some big tournaments coming up next couple of weekends.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. A lot of championships starting. It's that time of year. A lot of championships starting to take place, and we're going to cover that. And also going to introduce you to the latest member of the new Cheaters Hall of Fame. His name is Aaron Morrow from Pollock, Louisiana. He got caught fishing the Sealy Big Bass Splash. And Kevin, I'll tell you, I can't wait for us to get on this topic, because this guy.
Well, and
there's dumb and there's dumber.
So last week we wasn't able to discuss this on the show. We both knew about it. We wasn't able to, at the time of the show last week, and I was having some technical difficulties during the show, but at the time of the show, Big Bass Splash had not released anything yet. A lot of things were still under investigation. Louisiana Department of Wildlife Fisheries was still ongoing investigation. So we were not able to discuss this last week. We're not able to talk about it because they had not released anything yet. We both knew. I knew the day of it happened. I got a phone call, but now that it's all out there, Steve, I hate to hear this. I hate for everybody involved. But hats off to Big Bass Splash and Louisiana Department of Wildlife Fisheries, because job well done. They handled this the right way. Yeah,
and our question of the day, which actually I think I'll probably end up posting this on our Facebook page. I'd like to get some feedback from everybody. Is there more cheating going on in bass tournaments than we know? What should be the ramifications? Why are people cheating? Is it money or fame? Whatever it is, we're going to try to answer some of those questions today right here on Tackle Talk Live. Let's take a quick break to recognize a few of our sponsors. When we return, we'll preview the upcoming championships headed for Toledo Bend and Sam Rayburn. Stay tuned. You're watching Tackle Talk Live.
A good marine dealer is hard to find, but a great dealer is even harder. But in Iowa, Louisiana, there's a marine dealer that falls into the great category. Power Implements Marine, South Louisiana's go-to dealer for all things related to the boating industry. A Minn Kota, Garmin, and Mercury dealer, guaranteeing you first-rate service in both sales and repair. A great selection of new and used boats to choose from, including Skeeter, G3, Ranger, Camus, and Go Devil. A knowledgeable staff that will treat you like family and are always willing to go the extra mile to ensure you walk out a happy customer. To see everything they have to offer, go to powerimplements.com or stop by 606 East Miller Street in Iowa, Louisiana. Plus, mention Tackle Talk Live and save $500 off a new or pre-owned boat, or $50 off your first service ticket. Toledo Health is a full-service primary and acute care clinic. Nurse practitioners Jarrett Rule and Melissa Vines bring quality health care that's needed and convenient to the area. Nothing is worse than being sick on your family or fishing getaway. Whether it's a stomach virus or a hook in the hand, Toledo Healthcare will try and meet all your health care needs. Appointments available and walk-ins are always welcome. So the next time you're feeling down at Toledo Bend, stop by Toledo Healthcare, located on Highway 6 just south of Toledo Town, or call 318-508-5323. Very few stores are a complete one-stop shop, but Cypress Knee Outdoors is such a place. A store within a store. Cypress Knee is located inside 3J's Four-Way. Whether you need gas, food, drinks, or bait and tackle, they have it. Cypress Knee Outdoors carries top-name fishing brands like Strike King, Sandtone, Spro, and V&M. Crappie jigs from Bobby Garland. Need hunting gear? They have it. Ammunition from rifle to shotgun shells. Deer scents from Buck Wild and Doe and Heat. Deer stands from Titan and feeders from T-Hanger. Cypress Knee has it all. Located off I-49, exit 127, just south of Natchitoches, Louisiana. So stop by Cypress Knee Outdoors and let John Abram and his staff show you everything they have to offer. Or give them a call at 318-238-HUNT. You're watching Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Now back to the guys with all the inside scoop, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
You're watching Tackle Talk Live. Thank you for tuning us in. This segment presented by Toledo Health, 3J's Four-Way, home of Cypress Knee Outdoors, Cigar Fishing Line, and Power Implements Marine, located right there in Iowa, Louisiana. If you mention Tackle Talk Live, you're going to get either $500 off the purchase of a new or used boat or $50 off your first service ticket. Either way, whichever one you want to apply them to, they'll do whatever you want to do. But you have to mention Tackle Talk Live. All right, Kevin, first up, we got the Skeeter Championship coming up this weekend on Sam Rayburn. And your thoughts? What's it? I mean, are they going to smoke them? Is it going to be a tough summer bite? Are we in the summer phase yet?
So they had the RTT. They had an RTT tournament this past weekend over there. I want to say I saw it had 50-something boats. First place was 23 pounds, but it was and we'll talk about results later. I just want to kind of go through let me pull it up here. So first place was 23, second place 21, third place was 20, fourth place was 20, fifth place was 20. So top five, 5 out of 50 boats had 20 pounds. I think they're going to catch them, Steve, with the guys that they got fishing this thing. Water's high. So I think the big question here is, where's the water level going to be by next weekend for this event? Are they going to start? Because I think, South Texas, they're holding back the water because it's had too much water down there.
Right.
So they're holding everything in Sam Rayburn. But at what point this week do they start pulling some of that water? And, so there's a lot of variables still to be played for this week for Sam Rayburn. But, with that high water, they're catching some good fish, some quality fish. Again, 20-pound bags with a 50-boat tournament. That's pretty good. So there's no doubt with the fishermen that are fishing the Outlaw Team Series that they're going to catch them this weekend. But, it's just in what way or how good is just kind of where's the water level and what's the water doing, in my opinion.
Well, I think, too, based off the weather forecast, as a matter of fact, as we speak, East Texas is getting inundated right now. I mean,
Northeast Texas, though, Southeast is not getting anything.
No, it's not, but the rivers are still flowing that direction. Right. So, and from my buddy of mine that lives down around Beaumont, he told me, he said, they're still out of their banks down here. He said, there's just like there's no relief. And he said, all that water, I guess, even though it's not raining where we're at, he said, up north when those the Natchez and all those that feed down that direction, he said, man, it just never seems to stop coming. And
it's not your typical. So the only thing that's going to change, in my opinion, is, beginning of June, the brush piles really starting to come into play. It's a brush
Right.
pile deal. Everybody's running brush piles. But your typical brush piles that guys are used to fishing in June, or where they place them to fish for June, they're way too deep right now, in
Yeah.
my opinion. Now, I haven't been over there, just throwing my 2 cents out there from history. I think the guys are going to be fishing different piles than they're used to fishing this time of year, but they know they're used to, they know what they're doing way better than what I know over there. But it's going to be fished differently than what this event. This event is always this same weekend every year. It's going to be fished differently than it has in the past.
I've had some guys tell me, like Todd Castledine, Andrew Upshaw, that Sam Rayburn, for some reason, when the water comes up high, the fish don't migrate to the bushes like they do on Toledo Bend.
No.
There's some fish up there, but winning stringers will probably not come out of the bushes on Sam Rayburn.
You get checks out of them, but
you get checks, that's right, but you're not going to probably win.
Not winnable.
And for some reason, Toledo Bend is you can do that and possibly get lucky and get the right bites. And but I'm sure some guys that are just looking to get a check and do well in this event, they're going to go to the bank. I mean, we all know high water pulls anglers to the bank. They want to go to the bank if they can. And so now some of your top-notch teams that do really well in Rayburn, most of them are deep water guys.
Right.
And they're probably going to stay out there and they'll bang it as long as they can until they absolutely have to go to the bank. And
right.
But anyway, so all right, then moving on. Texas Team Trail, Toledo Bend in 2 weeks. Not this weekend, but the next. And Kevin, I've been over there. I don't know if you've been on Toledo lately, but Toledo Bend, as of 2 weeks ago, was fishing really, really well. I'm not sure where it's at right now, if anything has changed in the last week. I know the lake level, which was up over a foot above pool, is now down right at pool level. It's not high like it was. And they sucked the bottom out of it pretty hard.
Right, Steve. I think they're going to catch them. Again, with that caliber of fisherman, Toledo Bend's fishing good right now, catching some good size. They're going to catch them. There's no doubt about that. There will be some really good weights weighed in. I'm going to say it's going to take 50 pounds to win the thing. At least 50 to win it. Probably more. Somebody's going to bang that 28, 29 pound stringer on day one and follow it with 24, 25, in my opinion. Maybe more. I don't recall. I'm pretty sure Cole and Colby are fishing it. I'm pretty sure they qualified. Just thinking of Toledo Bend Hammers, I don't believe Cody Pitt is fishing it. I don't believe he fished the other ones. I might be wrong. And then kind of, going down the line.
Lazion, I know Kevin Lazion.
Kevin and Randy are fishing it. Tater Reynolds, I don't believe Tater is fishing it. So again, just kind of going down the list of Toledo Bend Hammers to watch out for all year long, but especially this time of year when they get on some of them offshore areas. But you can't leave out Texas Team Trail has some really, really good anglers from all over Texas that they're going to come over and figure some things out until they've been. They're going to catch them. It's going to take over 50, in my opinion, to win that event. All of it will be offshore, brush piles, ledges. If they're still moving some water, as you said, East Texas is still getting a lot of rain. If they're still generating and still moving a lot of water, some offshore ledges, some river channel things is going to start coming into play, especially for up north up there. I really believe it's going to be a wag fest in 2 weeks over there.
I think the one bite that they probably won't be able to depend on at Toledo Bend due to the level is going to be the bush bite. I think the bushes may not come into play. Even if it pool, I'd still take a lot of water out of them bushes on that north end. And even though the Sealy was won on north end, we're talking a big bass tournament. For a stringer tournament, I still say the winning stringers are coming mid-lake south. And
but this time of year, Steve, that river, when it turns to being a player, and I don't know how muddy it is up there right now.
Yeah.
If it's still real muddy, maybe not. And I'm not talking way, way north. I'm talking Converse down. That river up there, can be a player. The edges of those, 20 to 25 pounds. It's not like it used to be. And even back 10, 20 years ago, Harold Allen, Glenn Freeman, they won from May to September. you had to beat Harold Allen, Glenn Freeman, and they were up north.
Yeah, right,
And that's where
right.
all the summertime stringers came from. So I think Ryan Pinkston is fishing that the Texas Team Trail as well. He'll be tough to beat. With that north end on fire.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I'm trying to think of all the names of the Toledo Bend guys that are fishing Texas Team Trail that I saw that are fishing it. I'll have to look back and see, but they're gonna catch them. I don't care who's fishing it; they will catch them.
Yeah, yeah. All right, and of course, always Kevin Lazion. Him and Randy will be a threat. They've got good offshore cover. They know where to go. They've got humps, ridges, brush piles. I mean, they're a possible team that could sneak in there and take a win this time of year, especially on Toledo Bend in June. So, but anyway, looking forward to seeing how that tournament comes out. Let's see here. Also coming up in the upcoming tournaments, we've got the Skeeter Owners Tournament next on June 8th and 9th. That's on Lake Fork. And you talked off the air, Lake Fork is on fire.
Lake Fork, they are catching them right now.
Yeah, they really are.
Talking to a lot of my buddies up there, Jason Kahn, Michael Samples, Randy Oldfield, kind of going through the list of guys I've talked to past couple of weeks, they're catching them. I mean, they are flat out catching them, and some big ones.
Yep.
So, man, if you guys have any interest in fishing, Skeeter's Owners, and Skeeter Owners Tournament is an awesome tournament. I fished it a couple of times. I've worked it a couple of times. It is an awesome tournament. They have a ton of giveaways. I wish I was able to fish it because I'm a Skeeter owner, and I would love to be able to fish it, but I'm not in town that weekend. But man, it is on fire right now. There will be, if it continues, in which everything's lining up for it, there will be several overalls caught in that event.
Yeah,
Steve.
I would agree. Especially if it continues to fish like it is right now.
Yeah.
And again, they are right now. That is an area that is getting smoked right now. Yes. With thunderstorms and heavy rain. So I'm sure Lake Fork's going to be maybe up on the rise a little bit, but you still got another week for that thing to get back down to normal. But I know that's a Bass Champs tournament trail, and that's a great tournament Bass Champs puts on each and every year. So good luck to all those guys. The next one we got, Kevin, Outlaw Outdoors Average Joe, June the 9th. I've heard nothing but good things about this event over the years.
I fished one or two of them. They've been doing this event for a long time now. Maybe 10 to 15 years. I know 10 years, maybe somewhere around there, but this is the only one they're doing this year, Steve. This is the only Average Joe. They used to do a whole Average Joe series. This is the only Average Joe tournament they're doing this year. Plus, that same weekend, the Texas Team Trail's at Toledo Bend, so it takes all the big hammers to Toledo Bend anyway, even though they wouldn't be able to fish it. But, man, I think he's going to have a really good turnout because, again, this is the only Average Joe tournament they're doing on Sam Rayburn this year. So be anxious to see. They got a busy. The Outlaw team has a busy 3 weeks coming up. They have the championship this weekend. They have the Average Joe, and then I think the 15th, 16th, they have the Father's Day tournament. It's a 3-fish tournament. That's always a huge success because that's a fun tournament. It's a Father's Day tournament. It's bonuses for the highest placing father-son duo, and I know that because it was 1,000. I don't know if it still is, and I know that because me and my stepdad fished it several years ago, and was second as the father-son duo. So it's a cool tournament. A lot of kids fish it with their dad. It's a really neat, really good atmosphere. So they'll have a huge. So they got 3 really busy weekends in a row.
Yeah, they really do. Then we got the ABA Solo 150 tournament number 3, the final tournament of the year of the regular season, and the championship will take place in September. June 14th and 15th on Sam Rayburn is tournament number 3. And if you're a guy, an angler out there, and you've never fished an ABA and you're interested in fishing this event, there's nothing else really going on that weekend. If you're looking to get in and you want to see what ABA is all about, it's a good time to do it. You must be registered by 8 a.m. Monday, June the 10th. And that means you can't call into ABA Monday morning. You can do it online starting on Friday. What was that, the 7th? Let me look at my calendar, make sure I get that date right. Yeah, Friday the 7th. You can call in June the 7th up till 5 o'clock that evening, call ABA to get in that tournament. Or you can do it online over the weekend, 8th, 9th. And then by 10 o'clock Monday morning, you have to be registered online if you're going to get in that ABA Solo 150 event. And I've had a couple of guys contact me by Facebook with some messages on them, what I thought. And I said, hey, I think you'll enjoy it. It's a great circuit. It's well run by Chris Wayne, and he does an outstanding job. And I think there's going to be a little interest in this because it's, number one, it's on Rayburn, and always going to draw interest. And so hopefully we can expose more people to the ABA Solo 150 series and to make it even better for next year in 2025. So, but anyway, all right. Kevin, let's take another quick break. When we return, we're going to discuss the little cheating scandal that took place at Toledo Bend. You're watching Tackle Talk Live. We'll be right back.
Pride Rods, custom-built fishing rods made to handle any and all techniques. Fishing rods designed for sensitivity and made to last in Montgomery, Texas. Built by Billy Kistler with the finest Gary Loomis North Fork composite blanks available. They offer a complete line of spinning and casting rods for both fresh and salt water. Pride Rods do more than pass the eye test. They excel in performance as well. Ask your local tackle dealer if they carry Pride Rods and pick one up to try it for yourself. Take pride in your fishing by using Pride Rods. To learn more, go to priderods.com or call 832-418-6040. The Lakes Insurance Agency is an independent insurance agency taking care of Texans' insurance needs for over 25 years, offering auto, homeowners, boat, RV, life, health, and commercial insurance. Owner Clark Moore is a local fishing guide and tournament angler who understands your insurance needs and wants to be your go-to guide for all your insurance needs. For a free quote, give him a call and see why so many Texans trust the Lake Insurance Agency. 2 locations to serve you in both Nacogdoches and Broadus, Texas, or give him a call at 936-205-4467. The next time you're headed for Toledo Bend or Sam Rayburn, stop by Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle. They have an awesome supply of everything you'll need to catch the big ones. Whether your trip calls for bass fishing, white perch tackle, catfish bait, or the ultimate fighting shiners, Keith's Tackle has you covered. Keith and former Elite Series pro Ben Matsubu also have the latest information on what, how, and where you need to be fishing on Sam Rayburn or the Bend. So for all your tackle needs, check out Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle, located just off Highway 21 on the Texas side of Toledo Bend, or call 409-625-0181. You're watching Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Now back to the guys with all the inside scoop, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
Welcome back to the final segment today on Tackle Talk Live. This segment presented by Seaguar Fishing Line, Pride Rods, Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle, and the Lakes Insurance of Nacogdoches, Texas. 2 locations, one in Nacogdoches and one on the shores of Lake Sam Rayburn right there in Broadus, Texas. And we're also sponsored by Power Implements Marine in Iowa, Louisiana. Kevin, what happens if you mention Tackle Talk Live?
$500 off any purchase of a new or used boat, anything they have there on the yard, or you get $50 off your service ticket. Just mention Tackle Talk Live, save you some money at Power Influence Marine.
There you go. There you go. All right, the big topic, the hot topic, due to the situation that just took place on Toledo Bend in the Bob City Big Bass Splash Tournament. Cheating in bass tournaments. Kevin, I tell you, I can get on my high horse real quick on this. My question to you, Kev, do you think it's happening more than what we know?
Steve, I want to say no. That's every fisherman wants to think that. I'm not one to I don't jump quickly to those conclusions as a lot of bass fishermen do. Well, they've won 3 weekends in a row. They've got to be doing something,
Yeah.
Think about it. I don't want to think that, hey, I'm paying all of this money and I'm probably not on a level playing field. But to be honest with you, of course, it does happen more than we know. There's no doubt about that. And from every level, Steve. Me and you were talking about this several years ago in Natchitoches, those little evening tournaments.
Yeah.
There was a guy caught cheating, taking fish out of a basket on Sibley Lake right there in Natchitoches. We're talking about fishing for $150.
Exactly.
A
little potluck tournament. I mean, come on.
Okay, and then bass clubs.
Yeah.
It happens a lot in bass clubs. Let's just be honest. It does. Unfortunately, in some bass clubs, it does. Not all, by no means, not all. And but some it definitely does. And then when you're fishing for that amount of money, Steve, um, it happens. But what is it for? What do guys do it for? Is it some instances it's the money, and in some instances it's fame.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
They want to say I won this big tournament, or I'm the guy to beat in that event, and look
Steve,
what
the big
But I
bass
think it's
splash
money.
guy,
I think money is the root cause. I think
the
money.
big bass splash guy. I mean, all right, it was a 3 pound fish that he supposedly weighed in earlier in the day. He put
Yeah.
2.5 pounds, and we'll talk about that in this fish. So now let's just say this fish weighs 5.5 pounds. What is he winning off this fish? $500-$600?
Yeah,
Maybe?
possibly. Yeah, he wasn't gonna win hourly.
No. Again, we're talking about $500 to $600, and
Yeah,
now this guy is facing possible jail time.
yeah, and a $3,000 fine. I'm just. I know desperate people do desperate things, and I've always heard that my whole life, and I get that, but I just feel like right now, again, if it's not polygraphed, I won't even get in on no more. I refuse to, I hate that. I mean, I got some friends of mine. We all love to fish against each other. I related to, they used to have Monday night golf scrambles out here in Northwestern State. And boy, it was a great deal. Back when they started those back in the late 80s, early 90s, it was a good group of people. We all were just good friends. It was a great turnout. It was a lot of fun playing 9 holes on a Monday evening, winner take all, basically. It was just a great time. It wasn't even about the money with us. It was just about getting out there and having a good time. Then I went back about 15 years later. So I'm going to start playing in those again. And the group I get paired up with is cheating their tail off and saying we're 4 under after 4 holes and we ain't had but 2 birdies. And I'm like, wait a minute. I told them, I said, that little $100 gift card to the pro shop isn't worth me cheating over, y'all. And I walked away from it. I went in the pro shop. I walked away. I turned in our card. I said, I'm done. I won't be back. I'm not dealing with this crap. But I don't know. I don't know if it's a generational thing, if it's just something people think they got to do now. I don't know.
So, and even now, and I'm not saying anything else went on during the splash, but it brings out the question a lot more. A buddy of both of ours, I think it was Lance Duff, posted he
Yeah.
found a fish net or a fish
Basket.
basket. I think it was underneath a cypress tree or underneath a tree on Toledo Bend, like Sunday or Monday after Sunday or might have been Monday. Anyways, during or right after the big bass splash on Toledo. Not saying anything happened there, but when something like this happens, those questions get asked a lot more often.
Well, your radar goes up. I mean, you're like, okay, all right, what's the deal with this? Well, years ago, the KYKX, that was the first guy I remember ever getting caught. It was a big tournament in East Texas on Lake of the Pines, $100,000. This is back in, I think, late 80s, early 90s, KYKX, big bass splash. It was a huge deal. Well, the same guy won it 2 years in a row. They wanted to fight him on the polygraph the first year. They ended up giving it to him. Second year, they did fight him, but somebody came forward and said, I can show you where he's getting these fish. And they took him out to the boat dock, and they pulled up his cage. There was already a 5 in there, another 4.5. And he was, I guess, catching these fish and staging them in this basket. And before waiting, he'd just go get them and pull them out. That's what scares the basket scares me more than anything, Kevin. Putting the weights in the fish, I feel like you're going to get caught. I mean, that's just dumb. But putting them in baskets and somebody hiding them under a cypress tree or under a boat dock, that's more of a doable thing. That's the one that scares me the most, if you don't know the truth. Who's doing that? How many people may be trying to do that?
Right.
Especially for those big bass tournaments, Kevin. Oh, you got to put one fish in there.
Yeah.
You catch an 8 or 9 pounder the week of the event, and you can put it in that basket, and, keep it alive for a week. I don't know, man. It's sad to me. that we're at this point that it's
Well,
the money is so big.
And you hate that it we had the walleye the walleye cheaters last year, way up north. You hate that it's hit our area, that it's happened here. Like I said, it just makes it all a lot more real. Makes you think about, how much more does it happen, things like that. So,
is the polygraph enough of a deterrent, Kevin? In your opinion, is that enough? Evidently, it's not.
I don't know, Steve. I mean, I'm like you. I feel a whole lot more comfortable fishing tournaments when there is a polygraph.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I do. I feel more comfortable, And when there's a lot of money on the line, as these big tournaments are, there's all of them have polygraph now.
Yeah.
Not saying you're going to be the one that gets polygraph, but there's a chance.
Right.
So I do feel better fishing when there is a polygraph associated with the tournament.
Yeah. And again, just from what I've heard from the Sealy organization, they will prosecute this guy to the fullest extent, just because Bob does not want this to become a norm for his tournament trail.
Right.
And so I look for Bob to really be aggressive with this particular person and do whatever they can to hopefully deter this in the future.
Yes. Yeah. And again, Steve, hats off to Big Bass Splash for the way they handled this.
Yeah.
I mean, they're able to write a book on how to properly handle this situation, because it was handled exactly right. As soon as, again, as I was saying earlier in the show, as soon as the fish became in possession of the little bump board guy, now, he didn't know how much it was going to weigh. But again, this was what I understand, what I've heard. It was a 3-pound fish that had 2.5 pounds of weights in it. And he knew right then, the fish something was going on. And they brought it to the attention of the tournament director, and they went on right down the line. So again, hats off to Big Bass Splash for the way they handled it.
And knowing Bob and them, I bet you nobody in that tournament knew what was going on until after the fact. Yeah.
Not many.
Only staff members and the person involved probably knew what was going on. So like you said, hats off to Bob Sealy and his staff for the way they handled that. So, all right, Kev, that we beat that dead horse enough. Lake levels, Toledo Bend, 171.93. It's a difference of 0.84 inches above pool, so a little less than a foot. 10-day loss, 9.48 inches. It has come down in 10 days. 24-hour loss, 1.08 inches in 24 hours. Sam Rayburn, 170.08. It's above pool 5.68 feet. 10-day gain 1.12 feet and 24-hour gain 0.48. So, Kevin, it's still on the right. And I guess all this rain coming through, it's going to continue to come up.
And coming down to the lake.
Yes, exactly.
It is. And like you said, I mean, Northeast Texas got hammered again today. So,
yeah,
there's just going to be more water coming down.
Yeah. All right. Well, Kevin, what else you got?
Man, good luck to everybody fishing this weekend. A lot of big tournaments coming up, as we was talking about the championships coming. The Outlaw Championship this weekend, the Outlaw Skeeter Tournament this weekend, and then next weekend the Texas Team Trail Championship on Toledo Bend. So, man, good luck to everybody out there. Be safe, especially on the high water on Sam Rayburn, and hopefully we'll get some winners lined up and go from there.
Yep. Looking forward to seeing how those next two tournaments play out.
We got one more month of Tackle Talk Live before we take our break, so it's going to be a busy month. We go through June. We go January through June. Then we do show. We'll probably do a show with the Brandon Belt in July. We just do some main topics throughout the remainder of the year. We'll do a couple of shows in September, maybe a couple in October. But so we got one more month of a show every week with Tackle Talk Live coming up in June. It's going to be a busy June for us, Steve. Yep,
looking forward to it. All right. Thank you for tuning us in. Please check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or however way you listen to podcasts. If you'd like to become a member of our sponsorship team, please message us on our Facebook page. Kevin will make sure he sends you a detailed packet as to exactly what you need to do to become a member of our sponsorship team. For Kevin Jean, yours truly, Steve Graff. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week with more Tackle Talk Live.